Welcome to Math is Easy Step by Step. This is a very intense word problem. It takes a lot of time for me to explain. So I'm going to take my time with this first video. I got videos 2, 3, and maybe 4 to explain how to answer. So I'm going to read through one time and then explain. The coordinates of a triangle, P, Q, and R, are P, 1 and 2, Q, 3 and 3, and R, 2 and 4. If triangle PQR is translated 2 units to the right and 1 unit down, and then reflected across the x-axis to obtain triangle XYZ, what are the coordinates of the vertices of triangle X, Y, and Z? And so you have a number of options here, A, B, C, D, and E. I'm going to go over them in a moment and explain to you how you can use a test-taking strategy to eliminate some of these values. Now, what I highlighted above is called transformations. It's part of a series of transformations. Translation, reflection, and rotation are all part of transformations. And so, other than the highlighting that I have given you up here, this is exactly how you're going to see these problems on your exam and assessments. So let me go through this and explain a little bit, and then in video part 2, 3, and possibly 4, I will get into details on how to answer this question in multiple ways, multiple methods. So the coordinates of a triangle P, Q, and R. So each P, Q, and R is each a point on a triangle on a graph, right? So P, Q, and R each you're given the coordinate planes or ordered pairs of an X and a Y value. So each of these represents an X and a Y value on a graph. Okay, which I'll be getting into in the next video. I apologize for the shaky. I'm working on that, getting a new camera. All right, so P, Q, and R are ordered pairs, X and Y values that you can graph on a coordinate plane. Translate, right? So you're going to translate or shift each of these points, P, Q, and R. You're going to translate them 2 units to the right, which is positive 2 on the x-axis, and then 1 unit down, which is negative 1 on the y-axis. So for each of these x values, you'll add 2. For each of these y values, you'll subtract 1. And I'll show you that in a moment. And then you're going to need to reflect. All right? You're going to need to reflect. So after you make those changes to the x and y values, you'll reflect. Just like a mirror, you're going to reflect that image of that triangle across the x-axis to obtain a new triangle. You're going to label it X, Y, and Z. What are the coordinates of the points? Vertices are the points of the triangle X, Y, and Z. So in each of these options, A, B, C, D, E, right? Again, I'm sorry for the shaking. I'm going to try to get a better camera. This is your X value. This is your Y value. This is your X value. This is your Y value. This is your X value. This is your Y value. So each of these, A, B, C, D, and E, represents a point, X, Y, and Z, that's been reflected over the x-axis. So if you know anything about a coordinate plane on an x and y axis, if you reflect from a positive y value over the x-axis, you're going to end up with a negative y value. This is where the test-taking strategy comes into play. Which options, A, B, C, D, or E, has a y value that's negative? My y values for A are positive. My y values for B are positive. My y values for C are negative. My D value, in option D, my y values are positive. In option E, my y values are negative. So you can eliminate A, B, and D. The answer can only be C and E. I will get into detail in the next video as why you should do an internet search on transformations, reflection, rotate, and translate. It will help you understand this a little bit further. A little bit further. Again, when you translate, we'll come back here, and this is exactly how you see the question with the exception of any x or y values. You're supposed to know this represents an x and y value. And the highlighting of these terms. Translate is to just shift. So each of these points will be shifted based upon what they tell you. P, Q, and R will be shifted 2 units to the right. And then after that, P, Q, and R will be shifted 1 unit down. And that'll be your new triangle. After you reflect, like a mirror, you reflect an image across the x-axis, you'll have your new X, Y, and Z triangle. Hey, stick with me for video 2. Part 2. And I go over and show you that graph. I'm also going to discuss and talk about how you can create an X and Y coordinate plane graph on any piece of scratch paper, whether you're given a graph paper or scratch paper during your assessments. I can go over and show you how you can do that on any piece of paper. Hey, thank you for joining me. Math is easy. Take it step by step. And I'll go over this question once again in part 2 and explain graphically how you can answer this question. And then in videos 3 and possibly 4, I'll explain how you can answer this question by mathematically adding to the x and y values of each of these vertices or coordinate points on these triangles.